Hey you guys, welcome back to Southern Latitudes. I'm Robin, and I wasn't really sure I was going to make a video today, but quite honestly, I have a lot to catch you up on, and mostly it has to do with tomatoes. And last night, I was just kind of working after dinner. You know, it's getting, the sun is down, but you got that last hour or two of really good light left, and it's cooler, the sun's off of you. And it's not summer by any means. It's only March 27th, I think, today. Yesterday was the 26th. And, but anyhow, I still had a couple tomatoes left over here in this tray, and some in the tray that's no longer where you are now sitting. But, so I had some paste tomatoes, and I put a bunch of those in the ground. I had 3 left. So that's what I'm leaving for a friend or anybody, you know, local I can find to take them. But I put several in the ground last night. I also put in the bruschetta browns up front. It's just a small brown, dark colored salad tomato, I guess you could say. It's weird because I've Googled it and I cannot find it. And that seed was so stinking old. I mean, it's back when I had a garden here, and there's not even a garden here anymore. So it's well like 10 to 12 years old, and I just saved it on a napkin seed. So they're pretty nice. They're probably under a different name, or they just probably call them brown tomatoes. I saw a lot of that on Google and shopping stuff. That also went in the ground. And then my Abu Rawan are a Middle Eastern, I don't remember which country, but it's a Middle Eastern little, again, salad tomato. You're not going to get a 1-pounder, but you know, it works amazing in the heat. In fact, the smaller your tomato variety, the better they work in heat. The bigger, the less. So the big heirlooms that are 1-2 pounds, just do those over winter. Those are actually starting to fade out in the garden. I do have my Immokalee variety, which is just from South Florida. That's a pretty good 1/2 pounder or so. I'll show you that in just a minute. I wanted to start in shade because it's gorgeous out. Not a cloud in the sky, but it's really brutal on the camera and for you guys watching. So anyhow, I did a lot of clearing off of the trays and peppers. I had bought a chili pepper because I couldn't get my chili seed to start. So I happened to be passing by a garden center and found a chili pepper in a pot. Now it was too much, but it was already, you know, grown up a foot. It's ready for blooming, so I found that at home. We'll just go look at all that stuff. So I was getting all that put in tilling, and I thought to myself, I was looking over at the row. Here, let's just go over there so I can make more sense. Okay, so this is where I was working last night. I cleared this whole area of weeds. We had the cattle panel there, and I probably could have kept it, but it really kind of squeezes me in between these 2 rows, and I was ready to get rid of it. So in the very far back, they're still little babies, okay, because they were stuck in the tray, and they were started later, I should add. I mean, in my own defense, these are the Abu Rawan, and I think there's only 4 of those, which is fine. I don't need that many of those. And then here, and probably 7 or 8 of them are paste tomatoes, and these came from my friend Tracy, who also gives me the manure. But she was, oh no, I'm sorry, one of you in the comments, was it Lotus? I'm not sure, forgotten now, but somebody was saying that they resembled the Juliet paste tomato. Not a real big paste. I already have the big tomatoes right here, but I couldn't throw away these babies, so I thought, okay, they're smaller, they may live longer. After these die down, these may come in and give me an extra month, you know, give or take, of paste tomatoes and product to be canning or so forth. So easy for me to say, and so forth. I still have this part open, and the reason why I do, here, let me get out of this, is because we are about to throw up the shade cloth. It's not gone away, it's still in the shed, but it's time for me to tighten these lines and get the shade cloth in here. and it usually drapes down this side all the way to the ground. Now, what am I gonna do? Because I have completely then cut off my access in and out of these rows. So I'm gonna have to build, there's a nice little walkway I can put like right here, and so I'm leaving this section open to get down this row, and I'll have to pull the apple trees, both of them, out so I can get down the next row as well. And then I'm not really sure, but I have this baby pepper right here in the middle that kind of died. What are these? These are the red Marconis. They could all get really big and take over these panels, but you know, I figure I might make a path through there or through on the edge, probably right here in the middle. So okay, so this morning I got up and I was like, I really need to tie back these tomatoes. And then what happened to me was like, if you've ever read the book Give a Mouse a Cookie, I was like, well, I really should prune. Now the general rule is that if you have a determinate tomato, you don't prune. If you have an indeterminate tomato, you do or can prune. And so that's what most of these paste tomatoes, I think are indeterminate. But even if they're not, I'm also thinking ahead with airflow, because the humidity is about to turn on in the month of April. As this heat comes on, so does the humidity. And I have found, now I don't think I left too many examples, but here's one. These paste tomatoes all put suckers on, a lot, and they went all the way down to the ground. So I wanted to clean those up because those can bring in early blight to your tomatoes. So I definitely wanted anything touching the ground to come out, and then everything else got staked up like that. So again, tons of suckers and also some weeds. So let me pull that straight. There we go. Doesn't that looks better. So I just wanted to see a before and an after. Can you tell I'm excited? I can't hardly talk. I'm so excited. And oh, look, interruption. See the bee? Yes, we are starting to get squash. Really nice squash in here. So okay, back on here. So these are the federal paste tomatoes. Down here is more the Salvatierra. Oh, I'm on your way. Salvatierra Select. I didn't see a whole lot of obvious difference in the growth of these, but you know, they're both really large paste tomatoes, and I like both of them. And over here is just a mixture of large round tomatoes. Oh, also, okay, let's back up just a second. Look at these blooms. It reminds me to tell you something. So what I wanted you to see, look at this. They're gorgeous. They're everywhere. So I got to figure out what those two are, because those two, woo, found the jackpot of nutrition compared to their friends. And then some came later to the party. But okay, so let's go over the timeline just a little bit again. So I tried to start in January. We had a really cold thing and, you know, got busy. So some of mine didn't actually start till the third week of January and the 1st of February, excuse me. And so then my push is always to get them in the ground. And I even made a video sitting right here in this spot for February 15th. I got all these back here in the ground, February 15th. And the goal is then grow them up for about a month. And I did have blooms by March 15th then. And then hopefully you have picking size fruit ripe around April 15th. So that is always the goal in spring. Now, your dates may vary a little bit here and there, depending, I mean, know your zone, start it. Gardening is trial and error, and you just figure out when is the best for you in your zone. But I found these dates work perfect for East Central Florida, over here by the coast in Brevard County. And it works like clockwork now. So now that I've got that part worked out, over here is my Immokalee Safe Seed. I only have 4 here, but I did put in more somewhere else. I think I just stuffed them in here. Oh, we may find, we're going to go up front here in just a minute anyhow and look at the other tomatoes. So that's them, and they're about the same height as these guys. I didn't have a cage for, I got to get a cage for this guy right here, and they are also putting on blooms, and they're fantastic. Let's go up front. No, I lied just a second. Hold on. So I forgot to tell you the varieties. Most of these, now there's some exceptions, but these are Big Beef H1 hybrid. I have some Dixie Reds in here, and then right after the BTM, that's my save seed, Big Tasty Mater is what Jack named it. And then down, I'm not sure, what is Immokalee? See, there's another Immokalee. And then we have a lot of Grand Marshalls down here. Also supposed to be fantastic for taking heat. And they're hybrid though, so you can try to save your seed, but it won't come true. But it'll still be a tomato if that's all you got and you're saving money. I've done that a million times. So focusing specifically, this is North Garden up here. The back got another till last night. I gotta rake it out, all the leaves. But so focusing on the tomato row specifically, these right here are the Florida 91s in this little group. I think I had about 5 or 6 of them. They may have been the very first ones to ever put on the blooms. Fantastic right there. And they got the cages first as well. And they're a solid 2 feet in a couple of inches. And they look fantastic. And then the red snapper came in next. I think all that seed came from Haas right there. My seed comes from everywhere, mostly napkins. I do save a lot of seed, but these are hybrids, I believe, and I'll have to look it up. I think they're determinants. I could be wrong on that. But there's the red snapper right there, a little bit shorter, but they look good nonetheless, just a little delayed in their growth. So now we're in South Garden. There's North Garden, here's South Garden. And these are the Chef's Choice bicolor tomatoes that we put in. And here, let me tuck that one in so it stays in the cage as it grows. I'm not seeing a lot of blooms. I guess there's one. Maybe I missed some of them. They're getting a lot more southern exposure of the sun. Look, this one is doing nothing. What in the world happened to you? Not happy there. And these get hit pretty hard by that sprinkler, I will say. That head gets a lot of this stuff right here. Oh, but anyhow, so they went in pretty early, and they're probably the tallest. Maybe just shy of 3 feet right here. This is last year's winter, overwintering. I think these are Camparis right here. Pretty much done. And then I'm not sure, I've forgotten, and I don't see any tag on what these tomatoes were. And then look, we have a lot of the green vernissage tomatoes dropped here, there, and I haven't had the heart to pull them out yet. But look, they can't continue like that. That's awful. And my friend has the Daisy Festival, so if I find a free moment, I'm gonna pull these out and put them in cups and then give them to my friend Cricket to raise money. So I don't know what these are. I wish oh, wait. Oh, these are the well, they say Waishi Atomic Grapes cross, but I think there's something, they were a misplaced seed, but they grew up a couple of years ago in Salsa Garden, and they were a really high producing, small, like 2 to 3 ounce red tomato with little yellow stripes. So I did save those seeds. Okay, and then my brandy wine is finishing up here. Again, this is one of the larger tomatoes, and this did not disappoint. The other ones are gone already. This one's the last to die, but made some beautiful sandwich tomatoes. So I love the brandy wines, but again, in the heirloom category, not good for heat. Okay, one more set of tomatoes to go. Okie dokie, so if you're keeping up with the number of gardens, this is the 4th garden with tomatoes. This is House Garden, and it's where the peppers have been overwintering, and The cucumbers are just starting to attach to the trellis. And these are, and were, they're fading. They need a good prune job, but I don't think, well, I could do new starts. I could start those in cups. But these are the brandywines. Look, they have a beautiful bloom. They're just gorgeous. Almost like a mini sunflower. But needs a lot of cleaning up right there. And then here I had some Chef's Choice bicolor, and down on the end I had some Jet Stars, which are still kind of hanging in there. Probably would appreciate some fertilizer and nutrition boost in the cleanup so they're not competing with the weeds right there. But then we slipped in sometime this spring some Hausenators. So these two right here are my Hausenators. And they're just starting to put on some blooms. They're a little behind, I have to say. And, you know, I'm not sure why. And then these are like the super sweet 100 type of cherry tomatoes next to it. That's what was put in over here. These are only maybe 18 inches high. And again, just starting the bloom. So I'm going to have to hit them pretty good with some fertilizer. I'll have to clean up all this garden. And, well, all the gardens need cleaning up. But, you know, I'm only one person, so it takes me a while to get to everything. So you guys, we're going to end up right back where we started. And I still have a couple more Everglades to give away. Oh, we didn't even go through the Everglades. They look about the same, maybe an inch taller, but I have Everglades up in North Garden by that freshly tilled area, and I have one in a pot for the grandbabies to pick. That's all I need. Two is more than enough. And so we'll give these away to my friend for her charity. And maybe, you know, I keep missing that lady at church who wants her tomatoes. Donna, if you're watching, I still have your tomato. So that's it for today, you guys. I appreciate you coming along with me and getting the tomato update. I hope you learned something, maybe for picking out your next year's tomato varieties. And it's always fun to see the progress of them after you grow them, and what's going fast, what's working well, what is not working well. I will tell you that one of these big famous brand tomatoes that is very popular in the Southeast is probably never coming back, because only 2 out of 10 seeds actually, you know, made it to this high. It's very strange. They didn't like germinating. They didn't like putting on flowers. They don't like my soil. You know, so it's all good information to know. And I don't want to call it the company, because I've seen other people growing this tomato in other regions of the country, putting on huge tomatoes. But I have to just say, it's not working for my soil in my yard and my temperatures. So anyhow, you have to figure this out for yourself. So if you're a new gardener, be patient and keep learning and learning and learning. And then you'll know what is your strengths, type of varieties, and what is the weak ones that don't work. So you guys, also y'all, I still have these little patio tomatoes right here. So I don't know how many varieties we're up to. We have a lot of varieties, but you know what, it's great. They're all going to come off at a different time, and they're all for different purposes. We're planning on doing a lot of canning, so that's why I did the paste tomatoes. But we love fresh eating too, and we love salads. So y'all, with that said, that's the end of the video. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.